Here in green on the posterior of the skull, we have the occipital bone. And right here, these two plates are the parietal bones. Right in front of that is the frontal bone, which is in the anterior of the skull. And here on each side of the skull, each lateral side, is the temporal bones. We'll look at the front of the skull. We have the maxilla bone right here. And then there is the zygomatic bone on each side. Let's go in here to the orbit. And you can see part of the sphenoid bone. Here is the remaining sphenoid bone. You can also see it from the lateral view as well. Right here we have the ethmoid bone, which will come down, and we'll actually see that also in the orbit. Part of the ethmoid bone right there on each side, and here in the nasal. Okay, here in these regions we have the lacrimal bone on each side, and right here we have the nasal bone. Let's take an internal look. There is the nasal bone. Here in this white region we have the palatine bones. Right between those you see the vomer right here. We're going to flip the skull around now and look at it through the nasal. Okay, let's take a look in the nasal. Here we got the inferior nasal concha. And right here we're looking at the mandible. Okay, right here on 17 we have the articular fossa. And over here on 18 we have the pterygopalatine fossa. Here on the maxilla, we have the inferotemporal fossa. Okay, we'll take a look right here on 20. We have the temporal fossa. Here we've got 21. That is the pterygoid fossa. And we'll go to the maxilla now and find 22, which is the canine fossa. Here in 23, we have the coronal suture. And 24, we've got the sagittal suture. And showing right here is the lambdoidal suture, 25. Here is 26, which is the squamosal suture. And 27 here is the median palatine suture. And here we have the transverse palatine suture. Here is the temporozygomatic suture. And the glabella, number 30. Here at 31 is the pharyngeal tubercle, and up here 32 is the hamulus. Here on 33 we have spinosphenoid, and there we have the mastoid process, number 34. And 35 we have the styloid process. 36A is the superior knuckle line, and below that is 36B, the inferior knuckle line. And this is 37, the external occipital protuberance. 38, the carotid canal and foramen. And here we're looking at 39, which is the foramen ovale. Here is number 40, the foramen lacerum. And up here, 41 is the foramen spinosum. Here's 42, the styloid mastoid foramen, and 43 is the jugular foramen. Here's number 44, the foramen magnum, and 45, the hypoglossal canal and foramen. Here at 46, we have the incisive foramen, and 47, we're looking at the greater palatine foramen. Move over to 48, and this is the PSA foramen. Number 49 is the petrotympanic fissure. Number 50 is the pterygoid canal. Here is 51, the olfactory foramina. And 52, we're looking at the optic canal and foramen. 53 is superior orbital fissure. 55 is foramen rotundum. And 39 is the foramen ovale. Here is 41, the foramen spinosum, and 40 is the foramen lacerum. Here is 38, and that is the carotid canal. 56 is internal acoustic meatus, and 43 is jugular foramen. Okay, 45 is the hypoglossal canal and foramen, and 44 is the foramen magnum. 57 is the external acoustic meatus, and 58 is the sphenopalatine foramen. Here's number 62, the pterygomaxillary fissure. And 64 is the mandibular foramen. 54 is the supraorbital foramen notch, and 53 is the superior orbital fissure. 59 here is nasolacrimal foramen, and 52 is going to be the optic canal. Here is 60A, which is the infraorbital foramen, 60B being the infraorbital canal, and 60C the infraorbital groove. Here we've got 63, the mental foramen. Here is 15 on the neck. We have the hyoid bone. And 16A would be the thyroid cartilage. Below that is 16B, which is the cricoid cartilage.